people ask, "What's the time?" what do they really mean? When they say, "Where does the time go?" should they not really ask, "From whence it came?" "Time is the longest distance between two places," said Tennessee Williams. Well, here in Greenwich, the distance between you and time is very short indeed. Greenwich, a green, pleasant, and historical borough of London. An unassuming little place, but a place of great importance. For this is where time was first invented. This is the story of our time. Time was a novel concept first introduced to English society here in Greenwich in 1856 by the Earl of Shaftesbury. While playing a game of cards, the king summoned the earl to his court. Not wishing to bow out of the game, he instructed the messenger to ask the king to count to 60 times in succession, by which time the earl could be expected to be in the king's court. The king was furious for making him wait for what he coined a whole bloody hour. Nevertheless, the concept of time became a sensation and was widely adopted by society. Lord Antlebury voiced this in his diary in 1857, saying,
"I'm a great supporter of this new notion. It means I know where I'm supposed to be and when I'm supposed to be there, even when I'm late."
Some observers weren't so sure. Lord Gladstone noted,
"This ludicrous new fashion in the capital of dividing the day into periods is quite absurd. This concept of time is nothing but fanciful gimmickry. Who, I wonder, is making profit here? It won't catch on."
But it did. Until the first clock was invented in 1902, it was the timekeeper's responsibility to stand and count the time. These men, for in this period time was the exclusive right of men, divided the day into just 8 periods, each split up into minutes, firsts, seconds and thirds. Timekeepers held the post for life, but most died after around the 300-hour mark. We now know, of course, like most things, time had been invented by the Chinese many hundreds of years before. But there was no time standard across the globe. An English second was considerably faster than the Chinese, whereas an American second was roughly 4 times slower than the English. America was frequently running up to a month behind. In 1902, the Mean brothers invented the first clock in Greenwich, which abolished firsts and thirds and restructured the day into 24 hours. This simplification saw confidence in British time soar. In an astonishingly short period, Greenwich Mean Time quickly asserted itself in the global market and was adopted as the primary measure of time. Henceforth, the world's clocks ticked in unison. The observatory at the top of that hill sits directly on the meridian line, the longitudinal point from which all time is measured. In 1983, the line was moved by some building contractors carrying out work, effectively moving time 5 feet to the right. The mistake wasn't spotted until 5 years later, by which point the world had been running an entire day fast. It was agreed among world leaders that the lost day would be recouped by adding a day onto the end of February, a tradition which is still honoured every 4 years and has become known as a leap year. Nowadays, it's very easy to take time for granted. But previously, there had been no end of problems. Football games could literally go on forever, lawyers weren't sure how to charge their clients, and nobody knew when to eat lunch. It was complete anarchy. So the next time someone asks you what's the time, you can now tell them. And when you're next going about your day, think about what role time plays in your life. Picking the kids up at 3, that's time. Taking the pie out of the oven after half an hour, that's time. Another 10 minutes in bed, that's some nice time. But what does the future hold for time, and where is it going? The government has recently decided to increase the length of each day from 24 to 30 hours in an effort to get more done. There are worries this may lead to inflation and will devalue the hour, but only time will tell. Paul Valéry, the Frenchman, once humorously declared, "The future ain't what it used to be." Well, with the end of time looming on the horizon, it is now.